We are live. Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this channel. Let me make sure all my settings are good. Mic check. All right, awesome. All right, for anybody that's new to the channel, welcome. I am Chris with Monsters Under Our Bed. We cover true crime, mystery, to the missing. Of course, we're going to be covering the Sebastian Rogers case. We started diving into it about, can't believe it's been a month now, for me, deep dive in this case. Mainly focusing on, in my opinion, the only evidence that we really have, which is the surveillance footage. And then for those that are kind of missed the earlier parts of my live shows, shortly after I made a few videos with the overlays, a few of the locals had reached out and I had spoken to them. They were very impressed with what I did, and then they kind of shared some stories with me. A lot of it I have shared with you guys. There are a few things, obviously, they shared in confidence, but maybe if things develop, hopefully, then we'll be able to share those as well. But yeah, so let me get this over with. Let's see, move this. Let's see, which one is it? Here we go. What I'm going to do quickly is I'm just going to kind of play the intro and the overlay just so I can shout people out and let people kind of filter in. Of course, the main focus will be looking at cars because I told people that'd be kind of fun. A lot of people wanted to share different vehicles they think may fit with this suspicious vehicle. So that will be the main focus of the show. That'll be towards the second half of the show. But there's always new people, so just keep in mind there's always new people that come in and haven't seen the overlay. So I always like to play that first. So I'm going to play that. And that way I can kind of shout some people out. And also I wanted to discuss the Barefoot thing as well, because I was also speaking with a former detective, about him being barefoot and how far would he be able to get, if he did actually, if this was an abduction and he did travel barefoot. And there's many red flags with that. So again, I'm just going to play this part for a second so I can shut everybody out.
Than the hood of that truck. Using this method, we can determine exactly where those lights are coming from. So looking at where that truck
welcome
was
all my
parked
mods.
night,
Thank you guys so much for taking the time.
Photo here taken the day of.
Thank you so much, Tammy.
Google Street image and line up approximately where that truck was parked.
One thing I did want to share is this part here, because I had a few people comment yesterday, because they said, well, why are you tilting the camera? Because I think they had seen the Ruckus video. I think a lot of you know the Ruckus video. And unfortunately, I don't take the Ruckus videos real. And there's a couple of ways to show that. But this is why, you got to kind of research, how the camera is positioned. And obviously it's explained here. So if anybody doesn't understand why I have to tilt it, it's because of the position of the camera. And all you have to do is just look at the vehicles in the surveillance, which I'll show here in just a second.
It's exactly across the street. This house is next to the Rogers
Joseph Rapp, good to see you. Here we go. Good to see you, buddy.
Garage facing towards the camera. It also has
Criminal
3
Man.
garage doors on it.
Thank you so much for the support.
Guess what? That's right. It has floodlights above each garage door.
What's up, Steven?
Here, I am taking a street Google view of the direction of the camera.
Good to see you,
and
Meredith.
then adding the security footage overlaid into the Google image.
That's awesome, Sadie.
And
Thank you so
how
much
the
for
floodlights do line up
tuning
with
in.
the image. But because the footage itself was filmed with a phone, it is a bit shaky and doesn't always line up. But this does give you an example of where everything is taking place. The lights labeled as subject 1 and 2 are moving across
Chris McDonald.
the 2 yards. So the big question
is that Chris McDonald?
Are they flashlights?
I love
or
his
something
show.
else? And where are they coming from exactly, and where are they going to? What I'm about to show you next
If we get time, we'll
will shock
look
you
at some
to
other
your core,
vehicles as well.
because the angle of the camera is not quite level with the street. I realized that in order to match up the footage and image correctly, it needed to be tilted a bit to match the angle of the camera footage, and by doing this, literally put all the pieces to the puzzle together. And what you're about to see, in my opinion, is exactly what happened that night, and pay close attention to where those lights are coming from. I also fixed the footage the best I can to keep the floodlights lined up with the garage.
Yes, he has.
Notice we can see Subject 1 just behind the house to the right. Then we see Subject 2 literally come out from behind the house to the left. This subject literally came from the yard shared by the Proudfoot's home. As Subject 2 heads towards Subject 1, we noticed that the light disappears right behind the gazebo between the two homes. As we continue to watch, notice that it seems like Subject 1 is waiting for Subject 2 to get closer, as if guiding this person to a car waiting nearby.
Thanks, Ozzy.
Noticed as we
Thank you
wait
so
for
much,
Subject
Rhonda.
2 to reappear, we see that Subject 1 now moves behind the home to the right, and we cannot see them anymore. Then we see Subject 2 reappear to the right of the gazebo. Noticed as Subject 2 moves to the right, there are trees, and the light shimmers as it moves, closer to the home on the right. I believe this is not a coincidence that Rogers goes, missing the same night that around 3 a.m. Lights are coming from the direction of Rogers' home and the neighbor mentioning an unidentified vehicle parked on the street nearby. Here is me zooming in on where Subject 2 is, coming out from, and noticed it clearly pops out, just behind.
So here is the ruckus video, and I just want to show why there's a couple of reasons, and the reason why I tilt the camera. So if you think about it, okay, so this is the right side up view of the camera, right? Now look at the vehicles. Now imagine a person standing by one of these doors as if they were to get in. How would they be standing? Would they be standing with their head here, shoulders, and I wish I could Microsoft Paint right now, but you know what I'm saying. Right now the video's right side up, according to the footage right here. But if someone were to get in this vehicle, obviously they wouldn't be standing this way, but they would actually be standing sideways, right? Because the camera is at a tilt. So you got to keep that in mind. And so that's why I tilt the camera or the footage, because obviously if you were just to leave it like this, everybody would be standing at an angle, right? And so, of course, then with ruckus video, they don't tilt that. And so right there is another reason. And I hate to debunk, because like I said, I'm all for anybody to take my footage. And, if you see something I've got wrong, please, I would love to see other people's input that have the capabilities to overlay the footage, because I certainly could have stuff wrong. But this just shows, if these people were standing right side up, remember, she hasn't tilted, or whoever did this, I'm not sure who's the original person to do this. But remember, this footage is not tilted to correct the orientation of how the ground is. So this would be the proper orientation. So that means these people would be technically, all basically defying gravity, or they're on some kind of hill that I don't know about, if that makes sense, right? Because we have to tilt it to correct the way the camera is tilt. So yeah, there's just another, again, it's not something I want to debunk people, but just showing you.
Looked like a sedan.
Because somebody mentioned yesterday in the live, like, well, you got it wrong because you're tilting it, and you should check out the ruckus video. And so, and again, it's nothing against whoever did it. I know someone just put the name, like I said, I'm not trying to attack or debunk people. I'm just trying to get the proper.
It traveled up Kellen and turned around.
The proper orientation of this video, and just being logical. Yeah, exactly. Tammy says nobody else is going to take the time and energy and hours. I have spent a lot of hours looking at the same footage over and over and over and over again. Um, but you know what a show I really love is See No Evil. I know people have probably heard that. It's a great show. It's basically where they, it's a real show where real detectives solve crimes through looking at surveillance footage of a killer or the victim and using that. And sometimes they're looking at super grainy footage and they look over it, spend many, many hours, and then finally, something pops out that they've been looking at it for days and days, and then finally, they see something that they missed, and then, that leads to a lead, basically, and then they're able to find the perpetrator and the victim. But so yeah. Anyway, let's move on here. Skim this forward here just a little bit. And then, of course, we went out with the flashlight to kind of reenact, what kind of lights they could be. We're going to do the car overlay here in about 15 minutes. I just want to talk about one thing before we get into it. That way it allows people to come in. We almost got 500 people in here. That's awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for taking the time. I know we go over a lot of the same stuff, but I always try to add new stuff each live show. And I do got some drone footage, courteous of Stephen Crabtree. He has been out there. He's done some stuff for me. And he kind of shows, because it's very interesting. Many people may not understand the environment or the terrain out there. It's very hilly, mountain-like. And so Stephen Crabtree got some amazing drone footage that really kind of shows like just how bad I don't know if bad's the right word, but just treacherous the terrain is. I don't treacherous not the right word either, but it's not just flat land. It's very kind of like rolling hills type, which would slow anybody down, autistic or not. Anybody that would, if it was a runaway situation, it would be tough. I mean, no matter what direction you go in, it would definitely be hard to traverse. I know not everybody is a fan of Steven. Again, if you can, just try to be respectful.
As you can see in this short clip, with the car turning its headlights on, there is a figure seen with a light source to the right of the car. This confirms what was said by the locals on how there were allegedly lights seen moving around this car while it sat on Stafford. So just a quick recap. This goes with the locals, and I mean locals plural, is basically with the timeline that I've basically shown you is what many locals have seen. And obviously many of them have spoken to the original homeowner about what they had seen in the video. And this kind of corresponds that something happened between 3 and 3:30, not 5 and 5:30 when there was a garbage truck, school bus, and an Uber driver. This was hours earlier. And for some reason, a car drives down all the way down Kellen, turns back around, and then parks between the two homes, sits there for a minute. Not sure how many people get out. At the very least, 2 people possibly get out, because we do see subject 2 and 1. So at the very least, I guess 1. And then, of course, they get back into the car, and then the car turns down on Stafford and is literally parked
basically somewhere in this location here. And then one of the things that I
It's believed that after the
realized
car sat
recently, this is more recently, is that this light here, I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, is the light to this home here. I'm almost 90% sure this light is to this home. Now, is it either on the garage or maybe there's another light over here that it could be maybe over here? But either way, it's a static light. It doesn't blink. It doesn't move. It behaves just like the floodlights do. So I'm pretty sure it's just a smaller version of a floodlight or a house light. And I think, in my opinion, it's not on when the people subject 2 and subject 1 are moving. And then, interestingly enough, that light is now on when the car has now turned on to Stafford, which, in my opinion, it's possible that people, whoever was involved, were walking past this home and possibly triggered, if it was like a motion sensor light, and they possibly triggered that.
It's believed that after the car sat on
thank you so
Stafford
much,
for a
baby
bit,
kisses.
it finally backs up onto Kellen.
Sensei, thank you
leaves
so
the
much for the
neighborhood.
$3 URL and all your amazing support. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well, Sensei.
According to my sources, the light seen going back towards the Proudfoot's home is allegedly after the car has left. They even claim it's like they jumped over the ditch in a hurry.
Thought I saw somebody else here. Where was? Oh, there it is. This is the other footage I'm still studying because it really looks like, and it's really tough to see, but it does almost look like someone is jumping. It's almost like the light source. You only see it for just a brief second right here. You kind of almost look like it's launching up, but it's tough to tell because, again, somebody's filming with a phone, so it's bouncing, so it's tough to tell if it's really just kind of lifting up only because whoever's recording it just happened to kind of move up just as it's disappearing. So it's really tough to say if it's kind of launching up, but then it appears, back down. According to the homeowner, for those that don't know, they believe that they could actually see like a figure jumping the ditch, which, again, so the footage that we have, unfortunately, is like third generation. So unfortunately, we don't have all the details that the original footage shows. So we could only imagine how much more they could actually see in that footage. Mitzi Scott coming in with gifting 1 mob crew membership. Thank you so much, Mitzi. That is so awesome. Looks like Donna got gifted the membership. Thank you so much, Mitzi. Ginger Girl says, if he left the area by car, how would a grid search of the area find Sebastian? It wouldn't, unfortunately, unless they had left some kind of evidence, like on accident, maybe something fell out of the car that belonged to somebody. So technically, a grid search in that immediate area wouldn't be a bad thing because there could be evidence that could have been left, if this was an abduction. But here's something I wanted to show. Now, we're going to get to the cars. I just wanted to kind of allow people to get in. But I wanted to talk about a couple things, and then we'll get to the cars. But here's something I thought was interesting, because I'm still trying to figure out, why did the car turn on to Stafford? It still just doesn't make any sense. What does make sense is why they went between those two homes, that specific area. So they could have went between this home here. So this is the Sebastian home right here, right? Actually, no. Sebastian home is right here. Sorry, all these trees. This home here is the one with the floodlights, right? this fence that runs back there, that runs all the way back towards the fence there, where Sebastian Rogers, the Proudfoot's home, has their fence and backyard. So they could have gone through this area, but I thought it was interesting because they didn't take this one. It appears they went between these two homes, and you can probably see why, because here we've got a motion sensor camera. It looks like one right here, a light here, and then it looks like, I'm pretty sure, another motion sensor camera here. So obviously you would probably set off lights as you were going by there. But if you look at where the lights appeared to go, look how these are kind of on the outside of the two homes. It doesn't appear to be any windows on either one, no lights, and this is where it looks like the lights travel. And look, there's no lights, anything, so it'd be the perfect place to travel between. Thought that was kind of interesting. So no windows. Um, on either of those homes, you know, if you were quiet, would have no idea that you're just kind of sneaking by. But the only thing is why did the car turn down Stafford? And I know we've asked this question many times. One thing that I thought about is, okay, let's say it's an inside job and one of them had to get back to the home, right? And I was kind of looking at this perspective here. If you're sitting in the car, this is kind of what your perspective would be, right? And maybe you're worried that, like, let's just say maybe Katie or whatever, whoever, uh, was walking back and Proudfoot's in the car or whatever, or Seth. It doesn't matter, but you're worried that maybe like Katie, didn't like lock all the doors when she came out to escort them, or something like that. And so I do wonder if perhaps they did turn onto Stafford, because from here you would be able to see. Obviously, remember it's February. All these trees wouldn't have all the leaves on them, and you would be able to kind of see more or less something like this. And I do wonder if maybe they were just making sure that they uh, had returned back home. Rosemary, it would be interesting if they found something that may have been dropped in the creek. Yeah. Eyes on Heaven. Curious if the neighbor said why up at 3 a.m. and did something catch their attention to be looking out their window. All right, I'm trying to think about. So it wasn't as much as people were looking out their window, although I believe there's at least one that may, I don't know what they're doing. But again, we're kind of going off. A lot of this is going off this homeowner here and what they just kind of saw. But keep in mind, there was other entities that allowed people to see what was going on. But I do think there was some people up. Maybe they were going to the bathroom and happened to see something. But I'm sure more of that will come out to your answer. Hopefully when they find Sebastian. Shelby says, what if suspects was trying to rob the home, held Sebastian at gunpoint? I think that would be a little messy, to be honest. Not to say, We certainly don't know all the details. There's so much that we don't know. Can you zoom in to see if there's any low areas in the ditch where crossing could be easier? That ditch runs basically where they're going to travel. That ditch runs all the way through. Now it does get a little less shallow as you were where the car is at. But in the back area, it appears, obviously I've never been on foot there, so I can't say like 100%. But it appears that most of that is fairly deep towards Proudfoot's and the neighbors next to him. Okay, so we're going to get to the vehicles here in just a minute. I just want to talk about one thing. All right. This is drone footage that was recently put up. Now, I have to give credit where credit's due because this comes from Stephen Crabtree. If you're not into him, I respect, that. But I do want to show this just to show you the terrain. Now, keep in mind, if he was barefoot, just imagine how is it that if this was a runaway situation, you would think if you were barefoot, you would step on a rock. Remember, it's, we don't know what time he left, but it would have to be sometime at, like, in the middle of the night, right? For him to get a head start and nobody to see him. Because remember, people are getting up, getting ready for the school bus. So, like, by 5:30, people are getting their kids ready for school, for the school bus. You got the garbage truck driving around. Nobody see anything. So if he ran away, it would have had to have been, like around 3 or 4 a.m. So it's still pitch dark, and he's barefoot. And we're supposed to believe that there's no way that he didn't, like, step on something very early on, like a rock, piece of glass. Maybe walk in a ditch, twist his ankle. Just without shoes alone would slow him down, just period, because you're barefoot. But then to try to traverse this terrain, you would think if he cut his foot, it would bleed, and then he would leave evidence. He would leave some kind of blood trail, and you'd think those dogs would have definitely caught on to that immediately. I'm sure they do. I don't know. That's funny because I meant to ask them the last time I spoke to one of them. But I don't know. That's a great question though. If there was dogs barking, as far as I know, I don't think so. But then again, I don't know. Uh, uh, Janine, I think it is, says, go look at the still shots you have of the car. Look near the corner of the back of the black truck. Is that a person? Are you talking about where the trucks are parked, like in the driveway itself? It was said it was 26 degrees that night, right? And just look at the terrain. And imagine being barefoot. There's all these jagged rocks, sticks, so many things that all you'd have to do is just cut yourself just a little, and you would start bleeding, and you would leave a trail. Okay, if I get time, I will take a look at it. Mama says maybe he had a new pair of socks or shoes bought for just this occasion, and that's what was in the trash, perhaps. Um, Again, anything's possible. You would think they would have known. I would think it would have been a family member that would have bought him shoes, though, because obviously he doesn't have means to go drive somewhere. It would be either the father or mother or stepfather that went to take him to a store to get shoes, right? I don't know how he would be able to, you know, uh, go buy a pair of shoes, not because he's autistic, but just because he wouldn't have the means of travel without his parents being with him. Again, anything's possible. Yeah, it would be freezing. Um, and we know when he's barefoot, he doesn't like to walk barefoot because he stepped on, an ant hill. So it just the um the scenario of him running away and leaving no evidence behind just seems um too good to be true. Uh, Crawford says he would not make it far being barefoot. No, I mean, just go walk outside on cement, and then imagine it's nighttime. You can't see where you're walking. You could easily twist your ankle. I can't step on anything, and then whatever if you get injured, then you're just going to slow yourself that much further down. I just can't see him getting that far. Um, we're gonna get to the cars here in just a second, but the other thing that nags the crap out of me, and I'm gonna mention here in just a second. I'm gonna take a sip here. Criminal says there's no real evidence Seb was barefoot. Only KP saying and she was vague at best. In my opinion, no way. Yeah, again, I who knows what to believe. Again, even with shoes, how far is he gonna get? Pitch black. How familiar is he with that area? Would he be just kind of getting turned around? And I just can't imagine him. I'm sure when they first started the search, they would usually set up a grid within like a certain mile radius, right? So that way, just in case if he tried to get out of that radius, only way I think he could get out of that is by a stranger picking him up, right? I think that would be the only way. Ditto, I love your show. I also want to know where about in Utah, Salt Lake City. You were born and raised in Park City. That's awesome. Park City is beautiful. Okay. Before we start looking at the cars, another issue I have is where in the F is the TBI? Where's the update? It's been 6 months. We're 5 days away from 7 months. How come the TBI has not made one statement? Unless they did and I just missed it and someone wants to correct me. But where's the TBI? Okay. Oh, I'll definitely take a look at it for sure. K-Max says my hubby's from Pennsylvania in the mountains. People get turned around easily in elevated areas. Yeah. But yeah, what do you guys think about the TBI? Yeah, I don't trust him either. And you would think like on the 6 month they would say, okay, here's where we're at. 6 months. We've gotten this many leads. Even just saying that. Even though that's a nothing burger, but at least coming out and saying, okay, it's been 6 months. We haven't forgotten about Sebastian. This is what we've been searching. We just haven't really made it public. And this is how many tips have come in since 6 months or the past 2 weeks. There's been nothing as far as I know. Yeah, and we talked about how dogs track scent with Barefoot. We're getting. I know I keep saying this. The cars are coming up here in just a second. For those that don't know, the dogs, the scent dogs, they track your feet. They track your movement, but they are focused on your feet. That's why if you have a dog, they love your feet. A dog can tell your mood by your feet because you got pheromones. The salts, the sweats are in your, come from your feet. Sometimes they can tell what you've eaten by the smell of your feet. It's pretty amazing. So that's what they focus on. So if he was barefoot, you would
While
think
doing
the
the control
scent
test, I learned this about the car.
would be just that much stronger.
One of the things I was able to discover was that the suspicious car likely does not
Yeah,
have daytime
I
running
don't-
lights.
Yeah.
Or if it does, they were turned off that night. Notice that the car is completely dark. Then its headlights and tail lights come on at the same time, whereas my car has my daytime running lights on, and you can see my car.
Yes.
I found a forum where Nissan and other Japanese cars with older models in the 2000 to late 2000.
That's such a great point, and I wanted to. Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned that. Right? Why hasn't TBI come out and said, "Hey, we know Dog is going to be investigating, but we want to encourage the public to turn in tips if you have tips to the TBI." But not even that.
Are known not to have daytime running lights. I also did
Good
an
to see you,
overlay
Cunningham. Hope
and
you're
had
doing
somebody
well.
do some measurements on the curb behind where I believe the suspicious car was parked. I learned that the cuts between the curbs are 12 feet apart. By using this measurement, we can estimate that the vehicle from headlight to tail light is likely no more than 14 to 15 feet in length. Remember, multiple sources claim they believe they saw a sedan during the same night Rogers went missing.
So again, this is all just based on theory. This isn't exact. This is me just trying to think outside the box, right? Again, I could be way off, but I figure at least I'm trying, right? I'd rather do this than sit there and watch people's interviews over and over, or look at what other people are doing and talk, or I don't know. I'm just
Here are some makes
say
and
anything,
models
but
that apply to that size.
I'd rather focus on what we have.
Have you ever wondered what exactly you are looking at towards the area where the headlights
Okay,
are
the cars
located?
are literally right after this.
I, along
just
with
wanted to
many
make sure
others,
people get in here.
believe
and
that
then
what
we'll,
was being illuminated
we
in
got a
front
bunch
of
of
the
different
headlights was
cars.
part of the road. Well,
I'm gonna talk
if you
about
guessed like the rest of
Yeah.
us, you would be
Me
wrong.
too.
Thanks to a special viewer who watches the show named Joy, she did a control test with her Nissan Altima, and while watching her video, that's when something appeared to me that I never thought about before.
Park it. Okay, turn them all on. Now back up.
It's during this moment here where the mystery of what we were looking at in the security footage finally came together. It was
Yeah,
not
that's
the
been-
headlights illuminating the ground, but actually the fog, or morning dew as they call it in the South. Notice we don't see anything light up in the back or the front like in this video. And also, notice this part where it's like a shadow. Notice when he backs up the car.
Yeah, that was really amazing. Again, it's still possible this could be the street illuminated and we're just getting pixelations of it. But man, it really eerily looks just like how that exhaust, dew, whatever you want to call it, fog, illuminates. It's pretty interesting. But I really think, as far as the front end, there's got to be something that makes this C. Like this C to me, I thought it could be the blinker. I think it was Loose Fig that sent something in, and it looked like a perfect match. But the only problem is is for it to be like the blinker. It's just too big. But it was, it was amazing to kind of see that because it was kind of like a perfect fit as far as the blinker and the shape of it. But unfortunately, the car would have to be like super big. So anyway, all right, we are on to the cars. So I wanted to show one thing because I know a lot of people think that this could be a vertical tail light, right? Which it certainly could be, but I want to show you something that I figured out actually. Well, I figured out when I did my car thing, but I actually noticed something today that I do want to show you just to kind of show that it's still possible that, because the tail lights, there's so many different versions of tail lights. You kind of got the vertical ones, you got the oval ones, so many different sizes and shapes, right? But when I did my car, I was actually able to kind of recreate this, not exactly one-to-one, but pretty close, and I'll show that here in just a minute, but skip forward here. Okay, so here's the vehicles that we've done. There's a few that we started with. Let me get to chat, but I've got a bunch of new cars that I overlay, and then I do have the example. I'm not sure if I have it at the end or somewhere in the middle. I forget to cut this out. Sorry, let me... Oh, here we go. Okay. I'm like... So, Cadillac Escalade, again, got vertical tail lights. It does fit in the back. It's even got, I think, some kind of parking lights in the back, or brake lights in the back. Not parking lights, but... And it does kind of look like it, but... One thing you got to think of is this car, for them, if this is inside or outside job, either one, if this car is involved in the abduction and they have not found it yet, it is most likely because this car will not likely have a GPS in it, so it's not going to have OnStar or infotainment. So I would say any car above like 2012, I mean, I guess they could take it out, but it's more likely than not that it's going to be something like, 2014 or under, in my opinion. That's just kind of based on, because the newer cars have got, Bluetooth in them, and those vehicles can be tracked. And so I would think they would likely use a vehicle that's kind of an older, it doesn't have to be like a junk model, but you know what I mean, like it's have to be something that doesn't have all the bells and whistles with Bluetooth GPS capabilities. Carol says if he had new shoes and clothes on, wouldn't there be a scent? Yeah, it doesn't matter if he has new clothes or not. Remember, they're tracking your feet. So even new clothes, they would still be able to track his feet. But that's a great question. And thank you so much, Carol, for the donation. Is it wilted lettuce? A.K.A. Christina York. Do you think they dragged or carried... We Web Theo the Dutch? I have no idea what that is, but thank you, Christina York. Rosemary says it's a side marker in a lamp, can be turned off or deleted. Just discovered that today. Interesting. Okay, so to the newer cars that I did today. So I asked people to send in cars. All right, so here are the ones that people sent in, and then we can do some on the show here. Oh, okay, this is what I wanted to show you. This is from my car up here. Okay, here we go. That's not the one. There it is. Okay. Okay, so this is my SUV, right? And I made it darker to kind of simulate, the footage where we can only see like the headlight and the tail light. Now, here is my car with the suspicious vehicle, right? Keep in mind, my car has the oval lights to them. But in a sense, I was able to create that kind of exclamation point. And when pressing down the brake, I also can create an extra light that sticks out. So you can imagine if it was further out. Yeah, here we go. That I could almost kind of create that, even though that just kind of looks like an exclamation point. But just in theory, it is kind of interesting that I was able to, without having vertical taillights, still kind of recreate something similar to what we see up here, even though it's more vertical, not as wide. But my car is closer than the car that we see out there. But I just wanted to show you that. Okay, so here's the different cars. Let me get to chat here. NHGG, thank you so much. So there's a Honda CRV. Someone requested that. That's a lot like my vehicle. The lights are set up pretty similar. Uh, it does look fairly good. Um, show that one more time. Except the front, but it does have like the more vertical. I guess the only difference between a Honda CRV, because the Toyota RAV and the Honda CRV, they're kind of more or less kind of the same type of vehicle. Except the CRV does have more vertical, where mine are oval. So it would, in theory, match up pretty good with those lights. Then we have the Toyota Prius, which I don't really think the Prius lines up pretty good. The one thing I am curious about, this Volvo is very interesting. Again, I still don't know what the heck this creates to see. Is it a bumper and we got like fog lights going under it? But that Volvo, which is kind of like a station wagon, does have that backlight. Oh, oops, I went back one too many. It does have that tail light section that does kind of look, and it would create that exclamation when you put in put it in reverse, because I think that's exactly what's causing the exclamation point to occur, is they are putting it into reverse, and so now you got another light source, and it's trying to kind of and that makes that little eye there. There's a Toyota Camry. The tail light section doesn't really look like it lines up. It's interesting. You get cars that have the front where it would make sense because they have the fog lights on the bottom, and they do look good, but then like the tail lights don't really line up as well. That is a Versa 2012. Again, I could see the front maybe lining up, but the tail light just doesn't look right. The shadow at the front of the car looks like the shadow of a person with their. This one right here, the Saab. This is so interesting. That one looks really good, like in the front, because it has fog lights, under, and you have the headlights here. That one, I swear, is actually a pretty good fit in the front. And it has the reverse lights that are in the brake light. Now, I don't think they'd necessarily have to be in the brake light as long as they're obviously wrapped around, that they would light up. But unless there's, I don't know what would create this if it was a Saab. But that does, as far as like the seat, I could kind of see where you would have the fog light on and maybe just the basics of the headlight on. I could see that creating a C, which is interesting. Have I tried a Hummer? We could try a Hummer, but do you think somebody would be driving around with a Hummer? I mean, I guess like an older version that didn't have Bluetooth in it. I got a few more, and then we'll anything you guys want to look at, I'll pull up. But let me know what you think. If you guys have any ideas, this one here, again, the Sentra here, how it has the fog lights down here, and the headlights here. And if you just had that where it's obviously not lit up, that would create the C. I don't know. When I did that one, like I said, the back, I know the taillights are not 1-to-1. But I do think what we're seeing in the back could be a little bit of an illusion where, just like with my car, it's oval, but I still can create most of the shapes. And when I put it in reverse, I can kind of create this light back here. Yeah, I would think that car is likely junked somewhere. But that doesn't matter because obviously all you'd have to do is find the owner. A Nissan Maxima, same thing. Oops, sorry. If it was the fog lights and the lights here, it's sometimes tough to overland because I've got a picture that's constantly moving. I think I've got two more, and then we could run a few requests as well. Ford Focus doesn't look anything close to it, at least that version of Ford Focus. Yeah, I have a Toyota Rev, and that's what I kind of experimented with. Um, let's see, is there anything else? So I think that is it. So let me get to chat for a minute. Let me just show you guys the, for anybody that hasn't seen the what it looks like overhead real quick, and then because I was talking to a local recently, and I didn't even realize how much the terrain is more you kind of like rolling hills type mountainous terrain, which again is just going to make it all that much tougher for someone who's running away. And keep in mind, all this that we're looking at, when he went missing, this wasn't like this. It was much. Apparently, obviously this road wasn't even done. I think it was kind of like a dirt road, and apparently they had like a giant hill, like a giant mound of dirt that was right here, apparently. I mean, it wasn't huge or anything, but there was like a big pile of dirt. So they were saying you couldn't drive the vehicle. So if anybody is thinking you could drive the vehicle and come out this way, is from what I understand, you could not do that. I don't know. Maybe there was a way to go around it. I don't know, but from what I understand, it would have been very difficult to drive because all this was not like this. Luna says, I'm speculating, but my mind thinks he's in a dark place, like a hole, a well, or a cave, something like that. I hope I'm wrong, and he's alive and well. Yeah, I do too. I really, really do. I hope he's alive and well. Um, and then I think that's the pond. One thing that's interesting about that pond is they said it's like quicksand, which is interesting. But again, they drained it, they dragged it, um, and that's where allegedly one of the dogs had went to. But again, for him to just go walking barefoot, I think he would have left some kind of evidence behind. Renee, good to see you. Hey Chris, I know we're talking about cars, but could you kindly answer a question if you know the answer? Does the Proudfoots have ties to Native American reservation? I don't know. Does anybody know in chat? I kind of think I know what you're getting to. Does anybody know in chat? I honestly don't know. That is a great question, though. Alan, I seen you've been making some stuff or some comments, and I wanted to get to one of them. You said it might have been the license plate that could be making the C. Um, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, let's throw out some cars. And thank you so much, Renee, for the $10. And I'm sorry I can't answer that question. I have not heard of that. Um, Shirley says, try the vehicle that both the Proudfoots drive. So I'm going to be honest with you, Shirley. If they are involved, I highly doubt they would be driving their vehicle. I think that would be the biggest mistake, and I think they would have been caught very, very early on. Because I know Chris drives, he drove a Ford truck, and it's like 2020 something. Likely had GPS or some kind of infotainment. Would have been tracked. Okay, give me 1 second here. Okay. All right, let's throw out. Let me just do this. Wait, why? Oh, of course you're not all gonna move with me, are you? Okay. All right. We'll throw some cars out there, and I'll try to get to chat at the same time. Cadillac. I think I did a Cadillac, but I'll do one. CTS 2008. I'm just gonna grab. Oh yeah, okay. It does. Does it have fog lights on the front? Ooh, some of them do. I would think a Cadillac. Oh, I know what I need to do. Side view. I'm gonna grab all the vehicles first. That way we can just knock this out altogether. I like that. It's got the C. Let me know in chat. Like, I think the C is got to be likely from the fog lights and the headlights, and you're getting the C right here. Not so far. I originally thought it was the blinkers. I was really sold on it being like the blinker shape up here. But I think that's too small. Could the C be a shadow from from the front license plate? Yeah. It's possible, Mag 50. I am not like a mechanic, so I don't know like what it takes to, if you have a car that has that system, like what it would take to disable it. Sorry, Trailblazer. Oh, laser. Oh, I forgot to spell that right. Let's do 2010, 2012. I hope that's the Trailblazer. That's got fog lights on it too as well. Although the back is a little bit different. I'm just trying to get it. Oh, here we go. That's better. I think that's the same kind. Okay. Year 2012. Yeah, they had OnStar. Gosh, yeah, they've had OnStar, but you have to have the package though. Like, you know, a lot of cars now have like Bluetooth, right? I think OnStar is more of something that was really just something that was like a package, like the top tier package way back in the day, and you had the OnStar service. Now they have like infotainment, like your basic Bluetooth GPS, that now kind of comes with the more modern car. Chrysler 300. Did I spell Chrysler right? No, I had that. Oh, yeah, because that's got fog lights. Or the lights down in there. And it's got the vertical tail lights. That's got the C2. Remember, they said they believe it's a sedan, and that's coming from, I believe that is coming from the homeowner. I believe. I don't know. Don't say that's 100%. But if that was to come from the homeowner, then that's pretty big because they're the ones that got the original footage that would likely have the car. Okay, older Lexus. All right, like I said, I'm trying to 2008. That also has the front. The back doesn't look as good. I do think the lights in the back could be a little bit deceiving, though. That's why, again, anybody that's watching right now, and if they, oops, sorry, kick that. Anybody wants to send in footage of a car turning on at night with the brake lights putting in reverse, if you would like to do that, that would be amazing. Leslie and Billy, Chris, when you come in for dinner, thanks for never giving up. Love your neighbor down the road. Thank you so much, Leslie and Billy. I appreciate the support. All right, let's start with those, and then we'll grab a few more, and then we'll recap a couple things. So, and then I know somebody mentioned that they thought they saw somebody at the near the vehicles. So I will look at that as well. Okay, give me just a second. I probably don't need to space these all out. Oh, you had to do that to me, didn't you? So here you get to see. I'll just have to grab that car again. All right. So now you get to see the magic and work. Oh, you can't see everything, unfortunately, and I can't make it smaller. Okay. So unfortunately, this what is? Oh, I forgot what this was. See that? Like, it's weird because that C like fits really good. I'm just, man, it's tough because there's cars that really look. So like sedans really look good in the front, and then it's almost like the SUVs look better in the back. Yeah, that one. Did I do that too slow? Yeah, it's a little too slow. I don't know why that one gives me trouble when I'm trying to turn it, but so it would be something like that. Again, like that C does look good up front. Where it's, yeah, kind of basically where the license plate is at, and if you kind of shifted it down a little bit, it would. Oh, I can't use that lane because it goes too fast, but that does look pretty good. This one's the Cadillac, right? Grab this. Wow, actually, this one looks pretty good. Not gonna lie. Right about there. Okay, that, not gonna lie, I think that's a Cadillac, right? because it's got the C, and then it has the lights that are vertical. You've got the C and the lights there. And again, you could have like a light maybe up here that reflects up and kind of spaces out. It's tough. All right, next one. Why did it do that? All right. This one I may not. That one does not look good at all. I might have grabbed the wrong one. I think that was the Chevy Blazer. If you have a certain year, maybe we can grab a different Blazer. That one just does not look anything close. I may have grabbed the wrong model. Or was this a Cadillac? This is a Cadillac, right? One was Cadillac and one was a Lexus. And see, this one's got the C2. This one as well. Oh, I need to. Sorry, guys. What am I doing? Oh, there we go. Turn the opacity down. Oh, and that's got the light to it too. Interesting. Is this the Cadillac or Lexus? I get these two mixed up. Okay, I'm gonna blow this up because this even has. Somebody told me in chat like a week ago what those were. So you would have the C. Of course, it's because it's moving. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but. No, it's not going to fit perfect, but look at that. You got the little light there. If there was a brake light, so let's say if there was like a brake light here, or another thing that we may not realize is the car may be sitting, actually, the car may be sitting, so it's not. How would I say this? We're not seeing it sideways. I mean, we are. But what if we're kind of seeing... Oh, you can't see it. What if we're kind of seeing the top of it? So it's a side view, but we're a little bit above. So what we're actually seeing... So this light here would actually be... the rear brake light. Does that make sense? So we're actually looking at a vehicle that is oh, it's like that, but the other way. I need the brake. Rear. Yeah, it's a little too much, but maybe I'll just use that for example. That's not the best. I wish I could just take a 3D model real quick and flip it. Hold on. One more thing, and then we'll go back. Top view. I can't find one that's damn it. Oh, it's because just car. It's because I got a Lexus. That's why. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Top side view. I think you guys are getting what I'm. There it is. There. Yeah, that's damn. Yeah, that's pretty damn close. So, yeah, that's it. All right. Sorry, I know chat's moving. So, what if we're actually looking at the vehicle? Something like this, right? God, even that looks pretty good. So maybe the issue we're having. Okay, hold on. Let me blow this up. Oh, damn it. If I blow that up, I can't have that. Damn it. All right, let me just add this real quick. I think most of you guys are getting it. I'm sorry, I can't read chat yet. I'm trying to get this all lined up, and I will get to chat. I think what we're looking at is something like this, where the vehicle is not necessarily, we're not necessarily looking at completely at a side, right? Right? We are looking at it that did yeah, that works better. We're looking at it like this. So what we're getting is we're seeing the light, but then we're also getting the light there. Does that make sense? So we're not exactly looking at a side view. We're kind of a top side view. So the brake light would actually illuminate out. We've been trying everything, Cheyenne. I think you may have just came in late. We've been looking at all the different cars. Yeah, the Cadillac looked good. Angel says, I can't stand stepping on a Lego. I can't imagine walking around outside with no shoes in the middle of the dark, right? Chevy Traverse, okay. But do you guys see what I'm saying though? Like the car itself's got to be like a top-down view. All right. A few more. Let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats, but Chevy Suburban 2007. Okay. We'll grab a few more. Chevy Suburban. Oh, I need side view. Give me a better one. Give me a better one. Hopefully that will suffice. Alright, we'll look at that one there. Okay. Grab a couple more. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yabba Dabba Doo by Ninja. Thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. You're awesome. Carol, please try a 2006 Jeep Liberty. Jeep Liberty. Jeep Liberty 2006. Oh, I gotta go side view. So that's a really close to a. Just looking at the front there of it. They got lights right there. I think that would show. Oh, I can see where the sea. Oh, I see. I see the sea.
in a sense, where you could get to see it. Mods, if you can, let me know if anybody. I do appreciate if anybody sends like a PayPal or Venmo. If you can, let my mods know so I can shout them out. It's not necessary, but we do go out and search, and that does help. All right, let me grab one more. Hey, Gail, good to see you. I appreciate all your support. Addie says 2006 BMW 3 Series. Okay. That one looks good. Actually, that's a... There it is. Okay. Alright, let's look at those real quick. And then... But again, I do wonder if that is something that we're looking at. Just to kind of let you ponder that a little bit. Is that maybe it's not completely a side view, but just... This is probably too much, but like... Just slight bit of top view because of the camera height and where the car is at. Okay. Alright, we'll knock these out real quick here. AI, come on, AI. Boop. Oh. What? What? How is that? Is my chroma key? There we go. That was weird. Yeah, I could kind of see the C there a little bit. I'll just leave it like that there. Again, it's not going to be lined up perfect. Again, I think there's a little bit of variable because, again, the camera is sitting a little bit higher than the car. So... But yeah, I could see the bumper or something causing that. Oh god, that goes quick. Oops, sorry. If that had some kind of brake lights on the back windshield area. Jeep. I could kind of see the C like that. Again, it's not going to line up perfect. And let's see. Oh, I wish I could move that over just a tad so you could see it better. I just realized it's kind of hard to see the rear. I didn't realize that. Oh, I know what I can do. Let me move that over. Here we go. I just realized you guys couldn't see that. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of like the Honda CRV that Toyota RAV4 the vehicle I have.
about right there. It's not going to be perfect, but... maybe a slight tilt there. Right there. It's certainly possible. Again, like I said, you can almost create that extra light. I think there's two things that could create that light. Either you have something like the Cadillac Escalade where it's got the vertical lights, or something like this Volvo where, yeah, it's kind of got the lights going up. It's certainly possible. The only thing is so that's why it'd be interesting in some people to send some cars in when they're turning them on, because let me just show you guys the footage in its original form, just unadulterated, one more time real quick. Alright. So, unadulterated form. I have it slowed down though. Okay. So just to see it without the light's gonna turn. Oh gosh, I just realized I'm gonna have to move that over. Okay, give me a second. I'm just gonna have to move that over there. Let me back it up. So here you got the light, floodlights. The car is gonna turn on here. So I think this is where a lot of clues are at as well, is just looking at it, how it turns on. Like, there's got to be clues just in that. Like I said, that car is definitely running. I doubt that car is just sitting there turned off. And if you notice, we don't have the lights up here, so clearly just your basic lights are on. Then, and of course this is slow motion, then we start to see the other set of lights kind of kick up. And then bam, we get this like, finally we get this kind of like second exclamation point. Which is pretty identical to this one. So weird. Let me know in the chat if there was anything. I know I'm sure a lot of people put in a car and I may have missed it. Chevy Cobalt. Did we do Chevy Suburban? I think we grabbed a Chevy Suburban. Or no, I think we looked at it. I can't remember if that was one. There was one that did not look very Too good. Caddy was my first guess. The Cadillac, yeah, again, the Cadillac, I'm not gonna lie, it does look good in the back as far as the lights go. It's certainly and that's, let's see. Where's the Cadillac? Here's the Cadillac. Um oh god, you can't see it when I have it over there. Where's the Cadillac? Where are you? Oh, here you are. Oh, here's the QX Infinity. Everybody, like I said, I don't think they would be driving that vehicle around if that was the vehicle used in it. And none of the lights look anything like the QX Infinity. I just don't think that would be it. Um, but the Cadillac definitely fits in the back, but it doesn't. There's nothing like in the front with the Cadillac, though. Again, I think there is a clue here with this C. I know I keep mentioning it, but it's eluded me on what the hell. Clearly, there is something that is continuously blocking the light, whether that's the bumper between where the headlight is and the fog light under, and that's what we got here. Um, Again, it just eludes me. But then it goes against, what they said they saw, and that's they believe they saw a sedan. Charisma, do you need to send you a pic or video of my Traverse? Either one, if you could get a video, any car like at night just being turned on and off, and maybe put it in reverse. Basically, here's the best example um, to figuring this out is what Joy Jones did for me. Now, and I don't expect everybody to do the same exact thing, but this is what she did. I forget the car that she had. Um, I don't know if this was like a Nissan Maxima, a Sentra, or a Toyota Camry. I'm not sure, but anyway, she filmed her husband, and he had like kind of turned on the car, turned on different lights, had it completely turned off, had it just idle, and kind of showed. Um, and we learned a lot. Just because we learned that it's likely that we could be looking at the exhaust because the car's just been sitting there running, which I think is pretty interesting. But I think again, it's just all about trying to experiment. I mean, that's basically what they do. Um, as far as evidence and police work, is they do what they call control test. For those that have been with me for a long time know, we've done it in many other cases. We did a lot in the Alex Murdoch case. We did tons of control tests where we just recreate the scenario and then just try to figure out the puzzle pieces from there. Cruz, could it be a winch? Oh, something that's. Oh, yeah, I get to what you're saying. A winch that's kind of blocking this. Um, yeah, again, anything's possible. Certainly. The question I just wonder is if we are. And I know if I missed your car, I apologize. I tried to grab as many as I could. and different kinds. But sorry guys, let me just. This is what I wanted to show is so the camera's here, right? So just look at the position where the camera's at, right? We've got the car. You could almost stack another car on top of that, just where the height's at. You know, that's probably. Does anybody know how tall a typical garage is? Let's see. How tall is a garage door? Typically 7 to 8 feet. Okay, so say that's 8 feet, maybe eyeballing it, maybe another 2 feet. It's kind of tough to say. Feet and a half, foot and a half. So we'll just say like 9 feet, just for shits and giggles. So 9 feet, and the street goes down. So the view of the vehicle we would be seeing slightly like this. Oh shit. We would see kind of a more of a top down, more of a side view, but a little bit of the top, if that makes sense. So that may expose and change the dynamic of how we line up this. 10 feet. Are they more like 10 feet? I've never had a garage, but yeah, actually that looks more like 10 feet, honestly. Now that you say that, that does look more like, I mean, that is pretty high. Yeah, 9-10 feet. But the point is, you know, we're looking at a car that we're kind of looking down at. So we're kind of, when overlaying a side view car, it's not like the perfect overlay because it's not exact. That makes sense. Jojo says, I sent you an email on the sea. Oh, I know what Giger's saying. I used to have one on my car, the bra. Yeah, on the front bumper. Yeah, I don't know.
As if guy
Okay,
moves
I'm
behind
gonna
whether this was an inside job.
leave this up. Let me check my email for a minute. Actually, let me make sure I got everybody first. Renee, thank you so much. Oh, actually, I just got an image. Renee, thank you so much for the PayPal. Hold on just a second. Where did that go? Wait, hold on. Okay, all right. I thought it is from my source, but it's um unfortunately nothing that's I can relate. Marion, I'm just gonna say Marion H. I'm sorry, I can't read the letters. Thank you so much for the $5, and I got Leslie and Billy. Okay, I think I got everybody. And Peyton, thank you so much for the PayPal yesterday. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I couldn't get to everybody. Oh, let me check the email real quick. Let me just see if there's anything. I won't finish up here. Hyundai Elantra. Yeah, it's got the fog light. Yeah, somebody's saying, okay.
At some point, as subject 1 and 2 now move between the
Oh.
homes, it's believed that
Yeah, somebody says they see somebody. Let me see. Hold on. No, by the truck. No, that's just a truck. Oh, are you talking about? Is that like a shadow? Um, hold on. Somebody says they believe they see somebody or a shadow. Hold on. Uh, there. That's the best one. Oh, hold on. No, I don't see. Somebody thought they saw like a shadow, like a person casting a shadow. I don't see that. I kind of see what you're making out, but that just kind of looks like the tire. Yeah, I don't think so. But that doesn't hurt to look. But yeah, I don't think that is. I think that's just pareidolia. That's interesting though. When you look at it from afar, it does look like a person. So, anyway, yeah, if anybody would like to send some footage in, just, kind of like what I showed you earlier, that example of what Joyce sent in, um, it does help to experiment. Like I said, I learned a lot just by my car, just kind of how the lights work, and stuff. But anyway, we started at 5:30. Yeah, I think we'll finish up here. If I missed your car, I apologize. A lot of people, we'd be here all night, and I don't want to have a 3-hour live show. I try to keep mine to about hour and a half. Yeah, I saw that, Jojo. Thank you. I will look more into that, and if you do email me, I will try to respond. How far is the camera? Depending on where your point of interest. Um, I had it. I have a measurement. Sorry, I couldn't think of. I have a measurement, but I don't have it in my head right now. I have it somewhere. Somebody sent that to me, doing measurements, because we were measuring stuff, but I don't know off the top of my head. I apologize. Yeah, thank you so much, Renee. But yeah, I think we're gonna finish it there. I tried to get as many as I could. Um, it does. The suspicious car. There is definitely someone moving around it. You can see a light. Um,
it's about the car.
oh, these are all zoomed in. Yeah, there's definitely someone with the light. I don't see like an actual figure like moving around. I haven't seen that, but there is a light that does flicker. It's over here, I think, and it flickers for a minute. So I do believe that there is somebody walking up to the car, and that does correspond with what the locals said. That, when the car turned on Stafford, that there was some movement going on around the car, and then apparently they get in and they leave. So, But I'm still trying to look at the footage and see if there's anything else, that's by chance, if the person that has the original footage would love to send it to me, that would be amazing. I promise you I won't tell anybody. Um, but oh my god, that would be amazing. So, um, with that, I am gonna head out. Tomorrow we'll have a live show. We're just gonna have some fun, play some games and stuff. Take a break from true crime and stuff. We usually have a lot of fun with the members. So, if you're a member, we'll have a live show tomorrow, and then we'll be back Monday. Um, I don't know if I'll cover. I try to switch stuff up so it's not always the same thing, and I also do videos on the side. But I do have a Patreon as well where I'm upload stuff. So there's plenty of ways to support the channel and get extra content. But again, I apologize if I missed a car. But I don't want to be here all night. So, mods, thank you guys so much for your amazing work. And I thank everybody for being very respectful. And members, we'll see you tomorrow. And the rest of you guys, we'll see you Monday. Typical time. For the members, probably 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then 7 p.m., 7:30 on Monday. So, thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much.